Hello and welcome everyone to the Africam show. I really can't tell you how excited I am to be sitting with you this afternoon. I feel like I really needed this today, and I hope that you all feel very happy for being here too. And we're starting off with the black eagle chick. Look at it. Getting some meat from mom or dad there. Busy shredding whatever kill it's got. And this chick just seems to be getting bigger and bigger. Last week when we had a look at it, we just saw the top of its head. Now we can see kind of, I'd say about 70% of its body. Oh, they grow up so fast. Anyway, welcome everyone. If this is the first time that you're joining us for the Africam show, this is half an hour where we get to look at the different cameras that Africam has positioned across Southern Africa, and East Africa. And you get to do this with a guide, and that's me. And you can ask whatever you like because we are always live and always wild here at Africam. So you can send through your questions and your comments. I love hearing from you. And we've already got some coming through. Rolling Trouble, you say hi from Washington. You've got your coffee and your water. Suki V in the UK, you say hello all. Warm summer's day in the UK, but rain on the way. I love some summer rains. Absolutely love it. Dear NC, you say good morning from Seattle. You're ready for the show with a big smile. I am with you on that, dear NC. I've also got a huge smile. I've had a really busy day, and I'm sure that that resonates with so many of you. Having a really busy day and not really getting the opportunity to take a break and connect with wildlife-loving communities and spend time looking at these cameras. So this black eagle chick, it must be a few weeks now, and it's already looking a lot stronger than when we first saw it. Every now and then we can kind of see when it looks towards us, we can't see its face and the size of its beak very well, but when it turns to the sides, we can sort of see its profile just between the legs of its parent there. So sweet. And yes, it will have to be eating meat from the very beginning. And that's what its parent is shedding there. Of course, these are specialist hunters of hyraxes or dassies, and so their distribution often overlaps with that of the dassies. So dassies are also distributed across like the Arabian Peninsula area, and so are these for rose eagle. We've got more hellos. Bob from Kalamazoo, you say good day, Charlotte. Good day to you too, Bob. We already said rolling trouble. Mary Momo, you say hi to Charlotte from Hot Springs, Arkansas. Yes, it's hot here, but you've got a tall cup of cold spring water. Ooh, that sounds great. You're ready to roll on safari. Jirel, hi Jirel, you say good day, Trish. You've almost missed the start because you're watching two gigantic hippos fighting on the Kenya cam. Massive beasts, and you've got your coffee in hand and you're ready for today's viewings. Lee Cranmer, you say hello Trish, hello Lee. And Nigel Bosian, oh nice for you to join us again. I don't think I heard your name last week. Maybe you were watching in the shadows. You say hello from Israel, a hello to you too. So, when was it? I think it was last week. It might have been the week before. Everything has been so busy, that's how it is in the bush. Things just kind of melt into one long, wonderful wildlife day. But we had gone through some of the moments that this chick will go through, the various stages of its development. And of course, we can see that it's still covered in a whole lot of down, and it's going to be relying on its parents for quite some time. But what we didn't discuss last time is what happens once it does become independent and moves out of its parents' territory, because it's still a juvenile at that point. And it takes these young chicks, so once they've gotten out of their downy plumage and a sort of in-between plumage, then it takes about 15 months for them to get into their juvenile plumage, and then a further 2 years on top of that to get to the adult plumage. And that's why juvenile birds, or juvenile raptors particularly, can be quite difficult to ID. Well, I guess sometimes really difficult, sometimes really easy, because they tend to look untidy. They really look like something that's in between something else. And so when these rose eagles are moving from their juvenile plumage into their adult plumage, they can look quite messy. You know, bits of brown, some even have bits of white before they get that stark black color. Amber Co, you say happy Tuesday all, and thanks Trishala for being here. My pleasure. I love to be here. I've been actually looking forward to being here with all of you today. Kelly loves cats. You say good morning from North California. You're ready with your sugar-free lemonade with a splash of OJ, and the baby eagle is growing fast. It really is growing fast. We're now over at Rosie's pan with an elephant. Love it. You know, some days you just feel like you could sit and watch elephants in a pan for hours. Today feels like one of those days. Being winter, the sun is starting to set, obviously, much earlier. And that golden hour, that time where the light is particularly soft, kind of starts from about now. And you can see that effect right here on this elephant. Now at Rosie's pan, there is a slight buzz. You can probably hear it now. But I'm hoping that we can actually hear the elephant as it splashes around in the water, or as its trunk splashes around in the water. Because for me, that's one of the nicest things about elephants near a pan. So let's take a moment to listen. I know the buzz is not great, but this was an excellent time to turn it up, because apart from the splashing and the drinking, you can also hear the elephant sighing and breathing heavily, but also a rumble. I wonder if you heard that. Ooh, I kind of got pulled into a buzzy trance there, watching the elephant, hearing the buzz, watching the end of the trunk and those two finger-like protrusions. I think there was a slight sweet spot there where we managed to hear the rumble, and I hope that all of you heard it as well. And when we listen to elephants and we hear them rumble, that's still, or at least some of that communication is still within a frequency that we can detect. And we know that elephants communicate infrasonically, or at least partially infrasonically, which means that it's below our hearing threshold. But at the same time, even like when you and I talk, our voice is not always at the same frequency. And when I hear those rumbles, it feels like the upper end of those low frequency communications. So we just kind of hear the rumble as a bassy, very soft but very full sound. The sunlight is so pretty on this elephant right now. Now the softness of that light is something that anybody who is a photographer, videographer, content creator would love. And light is softer around that time. I know kind of it feels organic to understand that. The sun is setting or the sun is rising, so it's so much softer. But it's around this time that because the sun is close to the horizon, it's moving through a lot more of the atmosphere, particularly things like pollution, particles, gases, etc. in the atmosphere that are hanging there. So just imagine like sediment that is right here in Rosie's pan, all the sediment that's sitting in the pan that makes the water less than clear. Just like that, around the horizon, the sun's rays have to travel a little further. So it means that the light gets filtered more. And particularly, the first wavelengths that get filtered are things like blues. And if the blues are gone, it leaves a really nice, warm, orangey, golden color. Which I think is working very well for this elephant. Oh, there's more coming! Yes! Hi, Lee Cranmer. You'd like to know about what age I would place that Ellie? I mean, he looked pretty large. I'd actually say it might have even been a female. We'll have a look again, but the tusks look quite long. I would put them at about that one we were first looking at, but something between 15 and 20. It just depends on whether it was a male or a female. If it was a female, I would put it more towards kind of 18, 20. If it was a male, I would put it towards 15. Hopefully we'll get another look. I was not able to see its undercarriage, which is of course the best way to tell sexes apart. Many people can tell the difference between male and female elephants by the forehead, which is much more apparent when they're adults. Male elephants have a rounded forehead. Females have more of a very boxy kind of look to it, so there's kind of like an edge to the forehead. But as youngsters, nobody has that rounded forehead, so it's only something you see in older bulls. It's not really a conclusive way to tell sexes apart. But looking now, it's the elephant most to our right on the other side of the pan. It looks like a female. Oh, magic, the buzz is gone. Yep. Hello, little. Ah, okay. There we go. I managed to see a penis sheath on that young bull that you were asking about, Lee Cranmer. So that would be, I would put that bull at about 13 to 15. That little calf there, though, much, much smaller. Closer to about 2 years old. This is so lovely. I'm going to just give you a minute to take in the sound, because the color of the setting sun and the sound of elephants drinking is just, it doesn't get better than that on a safari. So I'm going to give you a minute to take that in. Well, of course, when I want to give you a moment, the buzz is back. That's okay. Strangely, I don't know, it felt like when we moved over to the left, the buzz stopped, but maybe I was drawing conclusions where there wasn't any correlation. Now, if you don't know who Kirsten is behind the scenes. She's the one who organizes all of these shows and is in charge of all of these things, production, and she just sent me the best message. She said, buzzkill. Now, if you didn't laugh at that, I don't know. I don't know what you would laugh at. It really was a buzzkill. Unfortunately, I don't see any other elephants coming through. The light is stunning now. Let's head over to Tao. There we go. Lovely, we've got some helmeted guinea fowls scratching about. And there's some impala as well further up. Kid Kanaga. Did I get that right? Kid Kanaga? If you'd like to know if I saw the elephant who lost a tusk, it was at El Doño. I can't remember specifically. I've definitely seen an elephant without a tusk at El Doño. And I've seen that quite a lot during my career. If you're wondering how something like that can happen, one, it deserves a closer look. We've got a croc there as well. An elephant that has one tusk deserves a closer look, because sometimes the tusk can break off very close to the face, and so it can look like they've lost a tusk when in fact they've just broken it. And the other thing is that sometimes because essentially a tusk is a tooth, it's a modified incisor tooth, so if there is an issue with it, in the same way as if there's an issue with a tooth, it can fall off. And then third is that, or the third explanation is that there can be developmental issues. So there are two bits called tushes that grow where tusks grow as an adult, and if one of those tushes have some sort of disruption that causes a malformation or no growth in that area, then that can also be an explanation. But most of the time, I mean, I've seen adults with just one tusk, and they learn to live with it. It's actually really amazing what elephants can do when they have some kind of problem. They learn, and seem to learn quite quickly. Thank you, Rolling Trouble. Thank you for laughing at Buzzkill. It was a buzzkill. Lee Cranmer, you're thanking me, my absolute pleasure. I love kind of figuring out the ages of elephants. You've got to look at certain things, behavior as well. So thank you for asking. And sorry, Crocodile, that we didn't give you a lot of attention. We were busy talking about one-tusk elephants. But it is really nice to see a Nile crocodile that is not totally covered in mud, and you can actually see how beautiful the coloration is. These blotches, dark brown, olivey patches, and the yellow. All Nile crocs have these kinds of colors. They're just one of those animals that are constantly carrying the dirt of the environment on top of them. You know what I mean when I say dirt, the soil, the sand of the environment on their back. So most of the time here, the crocs at Tau, you have to look twice because they look so much like the sand. Anyway, let's head over to Katmai Pan very quickly. There we go. This is so nice. It's a giraffe having a drink. I'm not sure why I feel the need to whisper, but I do. Because if I was there in a safari vehicle, I would need to whisper or not talk at all, because bending down to drink is such a vulnerable position for a giraffe to be in. And any little movement or sound can throw them off. This is a bull. Again, best way to tell, just look beneath the legs. And there you can see his penis sheath. There's some oxpeckers on him also. And maybe I'm a little biased, but I don't often see things at Katmai Pan. So I'm really excited to see a giraffe. From what I see, he looks quite dark. Giraffe bulls can get very dark. It's an association not only with age, but also dominance in the area. The more dominant a giraffe bull is, the darker that he will become. So as they age, they also get darker, and that's because the darkening of their coat is a result of hormonal changes, particularly increasing testosterone. And as we know, as males get older, or at least as they mature, their testosterone levels increase. But also, if you imagine you become a more dominant male, then there's even a greater increase and effect on your testosterone levels. So the darkness of a giraffe bull can indicate his status. And we know that giraffes don't necessarily have very tight-knit groups. But even still, within a certain area, there's going to be some individuals that are more dominant than others. Rolling Trouble, you are just ticking all my boxes today. You say you had no creamer, so you used ice cream in your coffee. I mean, that's how you should be having coffee every day, Rolling Trouble. We will be friends, Rolling Trouble. You laugh at Buzzkill and you have coffee in you have ice cream in your coffee. Wow, you can actually hear the swishing and the swatting as his tail moved from side to side there. Wonderful. He's moved off into the distance now. And here we have some elephants at Tao. Love it. Remember I was telling you about the forehead. So male elephants, particularly as big bulls, so mature bulls, their forehead gets really rounded. Now, if you look at this individual, this is a bull, and you can see I did not see that spur-winged goose there, and it looked like this elephant just laid this goose. So you can actually see that his head is starting to get quite rounded, but even still, it's not very obvious. It doesn't look very obvious. But if you see a female, a cow, standing next to him, you will actually see that it is noticeably rounder than a female's. The other thing to look for is the broadness of the face. I always find that as bulls start to, well, once they have matured, they have quite thick tusks, like the base of the tusks are thick. So even though his tusks are not particularly long, you can see where they enter his jaw there at the top. They're quite thick. And then also I look for the distance between the tusks, the distance between the eyes. All those things come together to help us figure out whether we're looking at a male or female, how old they are. And I guess that's also why I love wildlife, and particularly why I love learning about animal behavior and interpreting it. It's kind of a mystery, and there's so much information to collect and put together. Steve Swanson, you've got espresso with whipped cream watching giraffes. Sounds like a dream come true. You all are making me have plans for once the Africam show finishes just now. And yes, it might include cream or ice cream. Now, unfortunately, Steve Swanson, myself, I'm an ice cream kind of gal. I love a bit of fresh cream too, but if I had to choose, like, pancakes, I'm all about the ice cream. Rolling Trouble, just about the giraffe, you'd like to know, do the females get dark too? They will get darker, but they will not ever become as dark as the males. Actually, I should not say that. There may be exceptions, but generally, females will not get as dark as the males. That mechanism for the darkening of the coat is related to testosterone levels. So if there is a female that is exhibiting high testosterone levels, then her coat may be affected as well. But even if you're watching a herd, you can see from a distance who the males and the females are just by looking at the color as well. So females will not get as dark as males. Amberco, you say the darker color of the giraffe bull was so interesting to learn about, and that you love learning. I love that you love learning, and mostly I love that I can be a part of your learning, and that we here at Africam can be a part of your learning. Oh, Mary Momo, that's an interesting question, and I have heard about this. So, you're asking if the crocodiles here at Tao, do they actually breed, or do they go somewhere else? Because you know that they've tried, but scavengers always eat the eggs. Yeah, crocodile eggs are quite vulnerable. Water monitors, or any monitor lizard really, but more water monitors or Nile monitors, they're occupying the same areas, the watery areas like dams and pans. And they're even known to kind of distract crocodiles to get to their eggs. They can be quite mischievous, and quite a lot of planning can go into stealing crocodile eggs. But whether the crocodiles at Tao go somewhere else to breed, I don't know. The logical answer would be that they probably just keep on trying here until they are successful. But otherwise, they may travel to other parts or other pans. But remember, they still need to be aware of territories. Are there other crocodiles in those areas? And also, is there enough are there enough wet places to stop at for them to take breaks at as they move from one place to another, just to avoid scavengers? Because remember, other animals that are going to scavenge to eat their eggs are going to be everywhere. So I think they would just stick around and keep on trying. Anyway, it is time to say goodbye. And you know what that means? It means that I can now go downstairs and grab some ice cream with coffee, like all of you, and enjoy it, remembering all of you as well. Thank you so much, everyone, for your questions and your comments and your company as we move through the different cameras here. Thank you for joining us on the Africam show. I'll see you again or talk to you again soon. Bye for now.